Hey, my name's Chris. This is Key Farm, and today I'm going to review some of my own work. I rebuilt this golf cart from pretty much the ground up. It used to be electric, now it's gas powered. We'll go over that. I'm going to tell you everything I did right, and I'm going to tell you a couple things that I did wrong and still need to be corrected. But one thing about me, once I get something to where I can use it, I normally quit working on it and start using it. I'll try to get better about that. All right, let's go over this thing. All right, I think I'll start from the ground up. The wheels that were on it were white. All I did is black them. That was a good choice. These tires are simply rear tires off of like a lawnmower. And they were an excellent choice, even for the back. Now, I want a Meteor tire on the back, and I almost dropped the hammer and ordered some last night. But these do a great job. Like, anywhere around here in the mud, I don't get stuck in the mud unless I'm down in a ditch or around the edge of the barn where it gets really mucky and nasty. I've even rode this thing in the flood with water halfway up the wheels and never got stuck. It never let me down. It's traction-wise, it has done very, very well for what it is. All right, I put the bed on it. I think that I did a good job using the garden cart and halving it for the bed. One thing that I did not do well is I didn't strengthen this part up. I got it hung on a culvert the other day. Me and a buddy were riding around the farm. We crossed a culvert off in the back, and it got hung up on the culvert, and we went to push it out, and that's where that is. So I need to do a better job of strengthening up the back. That hitch is just for looks. It's way too much hitch for the golf cart. I was just messing around one day. All right, I did a pretty good job on the seat. The biggest problem with the seat is that I keep it over here at the farm, and I cannot keep goats off of it. The only thing that needs to change about the seat is that right now it hinges in the back. It needs to hinge in the front. Reason for that is when I build the backrest, which I haven't done yet, and I really need to because that will cut down on engine sound even more. The backrest is going to come here and the seat won't stay up. So also going down the road, the seat has flipped up. So the seat needs to flip from a hinge in the front, and it needs to flip. Uh-oh. There's a steering wheel in the way. That's a problem we're going to have to solve. Alright, but the seat, the foam in the seat, all of that has been good. Putting the top back on and the flex seal. Keep in mind, everything's very dusty over here at the farm. But putting the top back on, I think was a great choice. Every now and then in rough country, you need something to hang on to, and you can hang on to those rails. Everything's braced good back here. The bed is braced into it. I like how all that worked out. All right, now on to the meat of the golf cart. What was done right? What was done wrong? All right, see how that's held on with a U-bolt? That was done right. That is an excellent way to build engine plate and hook it to the rear end. You see this combination here? I have had zero trouble out of that. There's one thing that I need to revisit. Let me see if I can turn the light on. Alright, you see my coupler deal right there? Alright, you see that roll pin? If you'll remember, in the original build video, that roll pin had a set screw right there. Well, I didn't think that set screw was enough, even though it never moved. So I tried to drill the shaft and put a roll pin in. It did not work out. I ruined several drill bits trying to drill that shaft, and that roll pin's only halfway through. But it's never caused problems. I still want to take the starter nose and hooked to this right here, so the starter nose is on the splines, but that hasn't been done. But that would be better, but this hasn't had any issues. I still have the big sprocket on here. If you'll remember, I started out with a 10 tooth and I put a 12 tooth on, but then I backed the idle screw out on the engine, or I'm sorry, the throttle stop screw out on the engine, and that gave me more RPMs and more speed. Right now, this thing runs 18 to 20 miles an hour. and I have had zero problems back here. Ever since the second time I put the chain on and I put the keeper on the right way, I have had no more chain problems. Let's talk torque converter. Alright, this torque converter was about $55. But when coronavirus hit, the very same link to the very same part went up to $99. And then it went all the way to $250 when I clicked buy again for the exact same part. So, hey look, I don't know if they're back down yet, but if they are, drop me a note down below. Because $60 would be an acceptable price for that, but not $100 or certainly not $250. But I feel very fortunate because I read lots of stories about people that have shredded belts. That is the same belt that I put in it the night that I built it about 15 months ago. By the way, I'm calling this a 1-year review. It's really 1 year and then some. Alright, the Predator 212. Let me tell you why this was the perfect engine for my purposes. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to keep up a house, a farm, a family, all this livestock. I'm blessed. I got a lot of power equipment. Okay, I got 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers. Like I said, very, very blessed. On the other hand, all that stuff, you got to keep it all up. So it seems like something's always needing a battery. Something's always needing a part. The tractor always needs something done to it. So something that is this simple that doesn't even have a battery, I am all about. Now maybe one day when I'm older, electric start's going to be an absolute must because I don't want to be opening the seat and pulling a rope. That's all well and good, but at this time in my life where I'm trying to keep up all this other equipment, something so simple that all I got to do is pull a rope and go, and if the rope breaks, that's a simple, easy, cheap fix. I'm all about this. It does not have reverse, but I'll tell you one thing about reverse. If you know you don't have reverse, you find you don't need reverse nearly as much. Alright, now, you see this part right here? That shaft was sitting on that frame rail, and it rattled, and it vibrated, and it was no good. So I wrapped that shaft with a rubber bushing that I found, and then I bungee corded it down. And it quietened it down, and it works great. But that's even a little redneck for me. I gotta have something better on there than a bungee cord holding the front of the engine plate down. It works, and it works fantastic. But sometimes your bungee cords dry rot and break. You can see right now they're not in real great shape. So that needs a better system. But it does need a system where it can float, and all the rubber involved allows it to float just a little bit. Engine plate. This was what I view as my biggest mistake. The engine, check this out. I'm going to turn it on. I give it a little gas. The engine vibrates back and forth a little bit. See that? Alright. I made that engine plate out of 16th inch steel with it braced up with some angle iron. I really truly believe that if I'd have used 1/8 inch steel, that it wouldn't do what it does. Now, on the other hand, what it does doesn't affect performance any. I just don't like it moving like that. Alright, throttle cable. The throttle cable that I used right there in my extra spring assist, my throttle cable runs down through there and it goes down to that rod right there. I haven't had any problems with that. I got half of a cable clamp right there holding the end of that cable, and I don't know what I got clamping the cable to the rod, but whatever it is, it's working. I haven't had any throttle problems. I haven't done anything to the brakes except for pull them off and look at them. I had to put a couple of lug nuts on. I still got to black some parts of those wheels. But y'all, I'll tell you this, there's some things that I would do differently, like the engine plate. But all in all, it's a pretty solid conversion. I'd do it again tomorrow. if I didn't have a golf cart, I'd be looking for a cheap one, and I would do this again tomorrow. Like I said, a couple of things I'd have done differently. It's made a pretty solid machine, very, very helpful over here on the farm. Hey, I'm Chris from Key Farm. Love God, love people. Watch some of these other videos, and if you're the slightest bit handy and can get your hands on a golf cart, you need to do this.